The announcement echoed, a formal declaration hanging in the air. Announcement of the second round blooming ceremony. The scene was a snowy forest clearing, with a gathering of figures looking up towards the source of the pronouncement. A murmur rippled through the crowd, as two individuals, their faces bearing the marks of hardship, exchanged shocked glances. The camera zoomed to the legs and feet of Examiner as they stepped forward, a soft but definite thud punctuating the stillness. A man's voice echoed over the scene. Everyone has worked hard. With this, Pharaoh Ragnar, the ascendant dragon, stood tall, his long white beard framing a solemn face. His voice resonated with authority. The second round of the blooming ceremony has concluded. The crowd reacted to this announcement with disbelief and confusion. I can't believe the ascendant dragon himself is here, someone exclaimed. Why would someone who rarely shows up suddenly here? Pharaoh, unfazed by their murmurs, continued. 45 out of 87 candidates passed. He paused, then added, the survival rate is not bad. It must be true that this year's talents are the best of all time. A sudden shift in the air seemed to crackle with unseen power as Pharaoh stated. The highest score is also surprising, his eyes glowing ominously. Pharaoh continued with the formalities. As you all know, everyone who passed in the second round of the blooming ceremony will be promoted from an apprentice to an entry level. His gaze swept over the crowd as he declared, you are allowed to be proud of yourselves, his voice regaining its earlier solemn tone. Because now you all are qualified to work as Ragnar's inspectors. Two figures in the crowd, Remington and Sybil, stood side by side. Everyone here is qualified. Remington muttered, his tone calm. Then I will announce the scores of the second round of the blooming ceremony, Pharaoh stated, his red eyes gleaming. The tension thickened, everyone waiting to hear their results. First place, Theo Ragnar, 1,121 points, Pharaoh announced. The reaction was immediate. People gasped, some whispering, as expected, it's Theo Ragnar again. A wave of disbelief washed over the crowd as someone exclaimed, oh, 1,000 points? And another voice followed up, he didn't have any points until the last minute. What happened? A voice then broke the noise. Hey, didn't you hear already? Axion. Then trailed off into silence. The scores continued to be released. Second place, Wellington Narcio, 926 points. Third place, Erica Ranka, 843 points, then paused for a moment before continuing. Fourth place, Ray Ragnar, 789 points. Fifth place, Halkus. With a finality that marked the end of this phase of the ceremony. 45th place, Isla Remman, 28 points, Farrell declared. That's all, everyone has worked hard. However, the blooming ceremony is still not over, Farrell announced, his eyes gleaming. There is still the third round of the blooming ceremony, he stated. Thus, he finished with a slight pause. The announcement was clear. Those who have earned the qualification to participate in the third round, please raise your hands. Confusion rippled through the crowd. Did you succeed? Someone asked. No, I didn't have enough bells, another replied, frustration evident in his voice. I don't understand even if I've seen it, another muttered. Remington raised his hand, a soft thud accompanying the movement. Erica followed suit, but Halkus confused. Ray also raised their hand. In the crowd, Theo raised a hand, his black glove standing out in the light. Finally, Theo raised his hand high. The hidden piece of the second round, quality breathing method. You must collect bells and learn from the words that are written within. It's called a hidden piece because it's hard to collect, read, and understand. Only those who have managed to master it during the exam can attribute it to their magic, which gives them the qualification to participate in the third round. Theo's thoughts drifted to the past. In my past life, I was unable to clearly understand the words, the image focusing on a bell with strange symbols. However, Theo's eye, as it turned bright blue, filled the screen. A blue-bordered system notification window appeared. Hatchling synchronization, you can read the thoughts of things. The scene shifted to an image of a battle, with bright lights and fierce energy. Theo narrated, the essence of the words is being shown as pictures in my head. Then continued, so I was able to understand everything in a short time. Ha ha ha, it's rare to even see one person. But four? That's surprising. In my past life, Ray and Wellington weren't able to get their hands on the quality breathing method. He then questioned, is it because of the butterfly effect I caused? Farrell, his expression grim, addressed the four candidates. Then each of you should show what you've gotten in front of me, he declared. First, His voice echoed as he called out Theo's name. Theo Ragnar. Theo's thoughts were firm. Since Axion is gone, a lot of things will change. His heart beat a steady rhythm. But I have nothing to be afraid of. His foot stepped forward onto the ground. Because the future's going to be better than before, he thought. A blue aura surrounded his foot as he said, "What I've gotten." The air crackled with power. And Theo spoke, his thunder. His blue eyes narrowed as a blue-bordered text box appeared. Grant, express, control, expand, solidify. First, grant the mana a thunder attribute. He muttered before focusing. His face was grim, but his eyes glowed, and he stated in his mind, and express it. The ground trembled as a massive display of lightning manifested around Theo. "In no way," a voice exclaimed. "He's at the level of expressing it?" Another voice questioned. "As expected, young Master Theo," Sybil's voice declared in excitement. Theo's body was surrounded by a swirling mass of energy. "Usually people will stop here, but," he thought, a smirk forming on his face. Remington's eyes widened. Theo's chest glowed and pulsed with the concentrated energy, as he released a massive wave of power. A surprised Ray looked on in shock as lightning burst from the sky. A stunned Erica stated, "I like him," while Hulkus yelled, "He's so cool." Farrell, a hint of a smile playing on his lips, observed from his vantage point, "Ha ha ha, that's surprising. I didn't expect you to be able to control it, as I've heard." Theo, his expression unreadable, responded with only. Energy swirled around Theo's form, as he unleashed a massive explosion of lightning magic that ripped through the ground. Theo's red eyes looked forward as the words, "lightning strike." Theo lowered his arms. As he unleashed the power, his voice echoing, "Thunder Dragon." The crowd looked on in shock as the manifestation of the spell took shape. "Aichi's attacking the supervisor?" someone yelled, their voice filled with disbelief. Farrell simply chuckled, his voice calm and amused. "Fufu, this is fun." He already reached the expand level. Farrell raised his hand, as water began to swirl around his hand. "You have the qualification to test me." Theo stared ahead, his gaze determined. The onlookers gasped as they witnessed the exchange. "Good, Theo Ragnar. I'll give you an extra 1,000 points," Farrell declared, and a satisfied grin spread on his face. Theo simply responded with, "Thank you." As expected of the Ascendant Dragon, one voice noted while another stated, "He's generous towards candidates who like challenges." The updated scores appeared. First place, Theo Ragnar, 2,121 points. Second place, Wellington Narcio, 926 points. Third place, Erica Ranka, 843 points. Fourth place, Ray Ragnar, 789 points. 2 to 2,000 points? Hulkus exclaimed. "That's crazy." A shocked voice exclaimed in the crowd, "At this rate, he's on par with Lord Thorkel." Farrell looked on and chuckled, "He he he." The scene shifted to the three other candidates, starting with Wellington Narcio, as a blue-bordered system notification box appeared with the text, "Wellington Narcio plus 500 points," accompanied. Ray Ragnar's turn came next. REI Ragnar plus 300 points. Finally, it was Erica Ranka's turn, with another system notification stating, "Erica Ranka plus 300 points." Farrell, holding a scroll in hand, declared, "Ho ho ho, this batch is very talented. Usually, you're already at the top with over 1,000 points." The scene shifted to show the four candidates. A voice narrated in the background, "But there are 4 candidates for the top position." The scene then showed the updated rankings. First place, Theo Ragnar, 2,121 points. Second place, Wellington Narcio, 1,426 points. Third place, Erica Ranka, 1,143 points. Fourth place, Ray Ragnar, 1,089 points. The scene shifted to a shot of a snowy mountain range, with Farrell's voice echoing, "Everyone has worked hard." The snow fell as the scene continued and Farrell declared, "Everyone except the candidates of the third round may leave. Prepare for the nomination ceremony happening in a week." He finished. The crowd began to disperse, as the four candidates stood looking up at Farrell, who stood on a stone platform. Then from now on, Farrell began, a malevolent energy building as a red aura began to emanate from the tip of the mountain. A sudden burst of energy surprised the four, forcing them to stumble and cry out, "UGH!" Farrell's voice was laced with a strange, dark energy. "Shall we start the third round?" Theo's eyes widened as he suddenly felt a surge of power. "What's this? How?" As a vision of a dragon formed, Theo's eyes shone in rage. "Lodbrok's energy?